good Star Wars fanfic afterwards.
Alright.
Alright, so y'all are in this room. There's a dead giant. You've taken his keys. There's moans coming from the room to the south. There is some... I'm going to say that the door to the room to the north is closed, and that that probably would have blocked enough of the sound to something. I'm coming up with excuses for why I don't need to DM that half of the level. I don't like that half of the level. You guys, like, there's probably benefits if you guys wanted to go through there. There's, like, strategic shit you could do. I'm just unenthusiastic about it.
It's a bathroom.
It's a bathroom. It's a big fucking bathroom.
That's where they go to the bathroom.
No, I mean,
if you want to walk over there, it's just lots of Duke.
It's this whole part of the map that you don't see is the stuff that needs to be there for this level to make sense canonically. Like, this is a factory. There are certain things that need to exist in the factory for it to be a factory, but that do not assist the game. Which is why I was saying earlier, if this was like if this was a video game level, there would just be like a crate in front of the door. You just can't get past the crate. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, moaning to the south, you do have the keys. Might activate the elevator, you don't know. There's a door to the north, there's the two chutes, there's rubble. Slave dude ran away and took the elevator upstairs. Slave dude's dead, sorry.
He did. What's in that room that the giant got his sword from?
That is the room that the moans are coming out.
We should go investigate that.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Gimbal will lead.
Okay, Gimbal's going in first, Tamara's behind him. Lunara, are you getting in on that action?
No, I'm gonna hang back and run the giant's pockets.
Cool.
No, we ran the giant's pockets.
Yeah,
we got keys and a jerkin.
Ronan, you were in that part of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting in on this room exploration?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I definitely am.
That's good. Oh my god.
They're all along this side.
Okay. Just ham-fisted. Dunk 'em. Get that dunkables. Can you put those two in the room there? Lunara's over there. Ronan's coming along. Dead giant. These are spares.
Gimbal's still in reach. Is it been past a minute?
It's past a minute.
Okay.
Unless you have something you specifically want rage abilities for.
Yeah.
I am missing somebody. This is who I was missing. Okay. You guys come in here. Tamara, you see somebody that you recognize from a few weeks ago from the city of Nesme. Gimbal, you see somebody that you recognize, and Ronan, you come in here and you see your father, who is currently hanging from a wall by two chains around his arms. He's semi-conscious and is he's shirtless and appears to have been whipped recently.
Okay.
Big mood.
Yeah. Lunara is not aware this is happening.
No.
Lunara is still rummaging pockets.
Is he on the same side with all the other prisoners, or is he kind of like in his own?
He is in this
space?
room. He's the only person in this room currently.
Is there an up or down, like an elevator or stairway or anything in that?
Nope.
room?
This room is just there's an office on one side, there's an office chair, there's a desk in front of it with some books and papers, there's a bookshelf behind it. There's two chests down here that are giant.
A couple of us recognize someone we knew in the room.
Okay, you recognize this as the person.
It's all the same person.
Yes.
Yeah.
You recognize this as the person. You recognize this as the person who was leading the elves that were terrorizing your hometown. Gimbal recognizes this as the person that he vaguely remembers Lunara saying was her dad. Ronan recognizes this as his dad. That I put it in that order because that's the emotionally significant one. Yeah, get Ronan in there. So, Ronan, I think I want to know how you react to this.
I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Dad always has a penchant for getting caught up in things he has no business putting his nose in, and it's been a lot of trouble for us for a very, very long time.
Your dad has been increasingly erratic since Lunara left.
Like,
and
everything
then
that's been happening has just been like BS.
I think that Ronan is in fact the only character that would have this knowledge of like what's actually been going on in the tribe. So you actually understand your dad's motives in a way that even Lunara doesn't. Your dad has been trying desperately to basically make himself a like political entity in Faerun in the Sword Coast. Just make his tribe powerful.
No, sorry, we've been watching Godfather of Harlem, so my first thought was Adam Clayton Powell, and I was just like,
so the
Oh my
and
god.
every time that something would happen, like one of his kids would leave, or like somebody was, in any way insolent or whatever, he was starting to see it as like a challenge to his authority, which made him only all the more desperate to regain his political authority. And that's what led him here. He was making deals with these fire giants because he thought that they were going to be the next big political thing, and he wanted to be on their side when that happened.
He wanted to be ahead of the edge.
And that seems to have backfired.
Got some bad news on some insider trading tips, and fire giants were supposed to be hot. There we go. I have my father's sense of humor. I would like to turn invisible before I fully enter the room, and I'll move up to the edge of where he's being held, and I'd like to whisper to my father. Just,
Okay.
What are you?
Well, he may not have recognized you anyway, because it sounds like he's half unconscious.
It sounds like he's been whipped, but like I would like to call out to him to see if he responds.
You just say his name?
Yeah.
He sort of shakes his head and starts to come to. You get the impression that it was partially he was out of it because of damage and legitimate unconsciousness reasons, and part of it he was voluntarily being out of it because he did not want to be conscious anymore. And now that he's heard you, he's starting to come to, and he's looking around. He sees these other people in the room. He might vaguely remember Gimbal, but I kind of doubt it.
I feel like Gimbal freaked
going
out
dark
enough
to
in
the
front
right.
of him that he might remember Gimbal. They made a very big scene outside of Nesme.
Yeah,
They
that's
did,
true.
but
That's
I don't
true.
know.
It would be enough to commit
was
to
Gimbal
memory.
there? No, it was Lunara and Vanitas.
Gimbal
I was there when Vanitas was.
I don't know
When he
that
went
Gimbal
unconscious.
ever directly had
I
an
don't think he
interaction
interacted
with
with
Valhyrus.
Okay.
Yeah, he was talking to the guy that
That's true.
Nugget knocked down or something.
In any
Gotcha.
case, so this guy's going to look around and he's going to shake his head and say, who are you? You're not with the giants. Did you say my name? Are you here for me?
Father, cut the act. I'm here for you. It's your son.
Okay, there's a moment of recognition, and then he shakes his head and he looks around and do you think there's any kind of like, to somebody that knows what to look for, there's some like clues that somebody's standing there if they're invisible?
I definitely feel like Fae people would know that because
I
it
feel
feels
like
like a
in particular, I'm imagining it almost like a Halo-style cloaking, where any normal person would
just
very
does the arbiter and
easily
just
see that and be like, oh, like my eyes are just playing a trick on me. To somebody that knows what they're looking for and has enough to suspect that something might be there, they can kind of make it out.
Yeah.
And he's going to look at you, and then recognition dawns on his face, and he kind of scowls and then looks away and looks at the floor, like hiding his face.
How did you end up here? He's just chewing his tongue. He's like, I can't answer that.
Sorry, I'm eating salad.
Hold on, Ronan. Give father a minute to finish his dinner.
Okay. He's gonna shake his head and he's gonna say, "The Duke did not appreciate the way that the job in Nesme went, and he has been very vocal about his feelings on the matter." By the way, Lunar can be in the room now. I think Lunar has finished rifling pockets.
Azra is sitting out by that giant, just kind of like kicking it, messing with it.
Yeah.
Just
Cool.
So tomorrow, I'm going to ask you to remind me. She recognizes the person.
She probably didn't spend any time with him, but she recognized him as the person that was leading the elves that were kind of terrorizing her hometown and trying to like keep people from leaving it and stuff like that.
She's going to go up and say, we should leave this person to his own fate. And she's going to leave.
All right.
She's saying that to Ronan, or?
Pop Tamara out of the room.
She says that to the people around him, that
All right.
she'd just soon see him dead, so she's just going to walk away.
Yeah. Respect. Ronan or Lunara or anyone else?
For context, who's the Duke? Like the guy that he originally got.
You do not know who the Duke is.
Okay.
Ronan does.
Duke Zoltan.
Who's the Duke?
Who's the dude?
You did hear this giant when he was dying very dramatically.
Oh,
say,
yeah.
Duke Zalto.
Oh, Zalto. That's
Zolto.
Duke Zalto. He's somebody that a fire giant would know.
Yeah.
I feel like basically Lunara heard him say, the Duke is not pleased about this, and because she has no idea who the Duke is, she's just going to be like, so that means, like, I get the clan now? Just throwing it out there.
He's going to shake his head and he sees you, and now he is all the more upset to be seen in this situation. He is very angry about the way that today's going.
Chained to this wall, my daughter's walking in this room, my invisible son's asking me shit. Damn it!
Yeah, I think he's just going to.
It's the last time I pooped.
he's going to say nothing in a very loud way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who has the keys?
Lunara, I think. No. Sabek. Because big.
I asked about him, but I think they would be kind of big for me to carry around. So
By the way, Sabek, you cannot be in large size all the time because, like we said,
I assumed I went back down to a smaller size.
Yeah. But Sabek can also lift these keys. They're 3 times the size of a regular key ring, which means they are. The weight would be cubed. Is that correct? If something is 3 times as wide in every dimension, the weight would be cubed.
Yes.
We'll see, yeah.
Volume. Cubed.
So the weight is at least increased many times, but it's something like 2 pounds to 20 pounds or something. Like he can still lift it.
Salbeck has been. Did you say who wears the keys, like audibly or from within that room? Or...
I was suggesting, or you had said, I said we're going to get the keys, but she wasn't planning to carry the keys herself.
Okay, so Azra still has control of Salbeck's body. Azra has actually decapitated the giant.
Okay, that sounds about right.
In the meantime, has taken the keys and put it in the giant's mouth. So if you remember Pirates of the Caribbean, the dog that had the keys in his mouth? Yeah, that's what Azra has done with the giant's head and the keys. And he just kind of like walks up to the side of the wall and just like sticks the giant's head around with the keys dangling out his mouth. He's like, does somebody need keys? Anybody need me?
I think that Vilhyrus lets out an unintentional laugh.
Oh my god.
And then Sabek takes back over and is like, oh, god damn it, and just throws the head into the room near the other group of people.
I will also say, if you said that Sabek had done that, I would not be surprised. I think that
Well, Azra's the goofy one, so...
I think that Sabek might have been unintentionally channeling Azra, unconsciously channeling Azra a little bit.
Just a
earlier
very,
at points
very
in this
bad
campaign.
influence.
The two of you are bad influences on each other.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody tell me what's happening.
I would like to release my father.
Is anybody?
Is anyone
to
gonna stop
Take
me?
those keys
I'm
out of
gonna
that
stop
giant's
him.
mouth?
I'm gonna attempt to stop him.
Okay, it's going to be difficult
fighting
because
over the
even
head
though
now?
you know to look for it, a cloaked person is still kind of hard to.
I mean, eventually you're gonna see me dragging these keys
Yeah,
across
you're
the
going
floor.
you're going to see that he is coming over. If you want to try to grab his hand or something, that's going to be difficult.
I want to wait for the head to start moving, and then I'm gonna stop and take the head away from the invisible force.
Okay.
What are we doing here? He's still our father. He should not be strung up like this. He can answer for his nonsense, for his crimes. This is not the place. We also
His
should
mouth
not.
is in
We
trouble.
should not allow
Lunar, be happy that you
Giants.
have a father.
Was that Azra?
That was Sabek.
Hey! Alright. Nice.
We should
Alright,
allow the
I feel-
Giants to embarrass us, regardless.
Yeah, I feel like once Sabek spoke up, Lunar was like, "Alright, fine. Everyone's feeling like they're on a good kick all of a sudden. Go ahead."
Do I need help to open the? It's just I can do it.
You can do it. It's,
Okay.
it's like 20 pounds. Even freaking 8 strength. Actually, no, Ronin's strength isn't too pitchable.
Yeah, it's not super sad.
Right, not like Lunara who has 6 strength.
I don't know if keys would weigh 2 pounds anyway.
I mean, they're giant keys.
Right. No, I mean, no.
Yeah.
Well,
That's right.
they
The-
won't be like 20 pounds.
if the human-sized one would be, I don't know, 1 pound for a key ring, then the giant-sized one would be
I mean, what are our keys
3
like?
pounds
They're
or
a few
something. Yeah.
ounces. They're not like
right.
2 pounds.
Yeah. So I just want to unlock the door, and is it difficult to get him unshackled? Is this a thing that I have to do a lot to do?
I think the only difficult part is that the shackles are up over his head, so you have to. I think it's not a challenge. Somebody else might have struggled with it. I think Ronin doesn't even need to roll. You just do a 2-step
Before
get
I
up
pull
on
him
the wall
down,
or ankle it kind of thing.
I want to know where he's going, because I know he can leave. Why hasn't he? He can go. So why is he
You
still
mean
here?
yes.
Yes.
Why has he not used
Why
magic
has he
to get
not
out of
used
this?
magic to get away? Is it inhibiting him?
Yeah,
in some
he's going to grab the shackle and twist it over and show you some runes on the wrist
Okay.
cuff.
Then I feel comfortable pulling him down, because I don't want him to get down and then just leave.
Okay.
I need him to stay.
Yeah, you let him down. He falls to the ground, and he catches himself on his legs for a second, and then starts to try to stand and falls over. He is very weak.
I'm gonna sick Nugget on him. I just want Nugget to sit on top of him, keep him there.
Okay. Where's Nugget? Where's Nugget? Okay. Yeah. Sick. Yes. Right. Very good. Okay.
And there was no words exchanged. It was just
Yeah,
like
he's-
No,
the
that
words
just
like-
happened.
He is as much as
It was like,
possible. Unless he has a reason that he benefits from responding to you, he's going to try to avoid responding to you guys, because he is. That's the little bit of dignity that he can save is, by
Not being helpful.
by
Totally
being
an RPG thing.
stubbornly quiet. Yeah.
Is he just gonna be completely non-responsive? If I
Depends on
ask,
what you ask him.
I need more intel on this place. What do you know?
If you ask him something that he doesn't want to answer for his actions. He's not going to say anything that would embarrass him.
Yeah.
But he would help you out maybe.
Yeah, I would like to incline myself towards minimizing his embarrassment. That's kind of that's my place.
So I'm gonna say because suddenly Ronin's history actually kind of matters. I want to say that every time your clan has interacted with the fire giants, you knew that your clan was interacting with fire giants, but it was always meeting with an emissary, not meeting in Iron Slag
Like
itself.
we've never been here.
Right.
Okay.
So this is, for example, the first time you've ever seen the Vindindod. By the way, somebody tell me how you would pronounce that. It's Vindindod, but there's a umlaut over the O. Is that Ode? Vindindod?
That's how I would pronounce it.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Vindindod.
Yeah.
That is a pre-written word that I am using. Okay, so this is your first time seeing the Vindindod, although you might have heard that word once or twice before.
But I don't have any like.
You have no idea
to,
what
like,
the fuck it is.
What that could be.
What was your question?
What intel does he have on this place? Like, has he only been in this room? Where have you been?
He's been in this room and in the prison, which is it's like over here on the map.
Okay. He hasn't been downstairs at all, though, right?
Did you see a conch before you got beat up?
I'm gonna say no. He this kind of stuff I think he'll be helpful with, and so he will say like the conch that you're looking for, it's Duke Salto keeps it on a necklace. Actually, Duder would not be using it that much.
Yeah.
I think Vilhyrus is aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say he wears it on his necklace as a symbol of authority.
Okay.
Because it is a gift given to him by the King of Giants that is given to only 4 others, and those 4 others were the other lords of their respective clans. So it is a symbol of authority to him, even though he no longer recognizes the authority of the Storm Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened, and as for what's going on in here, he's going to say that all of the parts that we've been scouting out for them, all of the adamantine components that rumors speak of around the world that we've been chasing rumors for the fire giants, those have gone towards rebuilding the construct in the room below, the one you might have seen out there.
How'd they get their hands on it? Because we didn't get the last cache of that.
So
I'm
Ronan
saying
doesn't
we.
know what's going on
I
there.
don't know.
Sabek and Lunara and Gimbal, you guys might start putting pieces together and remember that some fire giants were attacking the town of Tribor to steal an adamantine, basically like I-beam with some mechanisms on it that was buried under the town. So apparently this big Metal Gear motherfucker is what they were trying to take that part for. Shit. And they never got it because you guys took it and gave it to the city of the University of Neverwinter.
Yay.
And he is going to say that the Vindindod is, as of this week, functional enough for field testing, and they're going to start using it to collect the remaining pieces that they haven't been able to get yet. That's as much as he knows, and that's what's going on in here. He is being punished because your clan was supposed to prevent anyone from Nesme from causing trouble, and then he's just going to go.
Okay.
Did someone say trouble? that's a hit.
He once again involuntarily laughs at that.
So
What can we do to stop Zolto?
yeah.
You must know
he's gonna shrug
something.
and say, I kill him? know?
You know because you're gonna help us.
He laughs, and then he laughs, and then he gives you the finger.
Can I break his finger? Can I do it?
The head is now open like, ooh.
We're going to replay the event that happened
We're just gonna
with
keep
Ronan
doing
the
it.
first time you interacted with Ronan, where you try to break his finger.
It's
and
a thing
he,
of his family
he
at
like
this point. I'm just
he
like,
tries to
don't do
twist
it.
out of it, but this guy doesn't have the strength to twist out of it. So you hurt his finger. If you want, you can break it.
I want to break it. Just
Ew.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I would like to stop her.
Okay. I think you've seen this play out enough times that you can see her start it, and then you know the point where you have to stop.
I
her
let
before
her
she breaks
hurt
it.
him,
Yeah.
but not break him.
Are you still invisible? Actually, no. As soon as
Yeah,
you
no.
grab
As soon
her
as I make
arm,
that action,
that would
I go
be
like,
a
boop.
hostile
That's it. I'm
action,
here.
and
Yeah.
that will take you out of invisibility.
Mm-hmm. Like at this point, I'm just like, the
I
two
find
of you, I
find
can't.
the
Why are you
restriction
like this?
of- I find the restriction on. This is a meta thing. I want to talk at some point about. I find magic rules fascinating in this because I try to think of magic as like a physical force that has like standard behaviors,
Okay.
and like you push these buttons, these things happen, which is why it's an art and you can change it. There are some restrictions that I find really fascinating, and the fact that invisibility stops working as soon as you take a hostile action is one of those. It's super fascinating to me, and my headcanon for it is that maintaining invisibility requires a sort of like meditative state that requires you to be like
Focused.
it's not focused. You need to put yourself in a benevolent mindset. And as soon as you take a hostile action, you
It
break
stops
out
it.
of the benevolent mindset and
Okay.
you are no longer capable of...
You break your concentration.
You break your concentration, but you break it in a very specific way.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
you could still
I'm
be
losing
concentrating,
spiritual
but
connection.
it is
Yeah.
impossible to do the two things. You cannot be attacking.
Yeah, no, I'm
and-
cool with breaking
like that
invisibility
idea.
specifically to stop this.
No, I love
and it's
this
like
scene.
I
love
can't,
this scene that
I
just
can't
happened.
with this.
Okay.
Not again.
Not right now.
We have things to do, and we need your help, Father. Are you not going to help us? Are
He's
you not going to
going
help
to-
your children?
He's going to sit up because he was on the floor. He's now sitting up against the wall, and he's going to shrug and then like gesture at his whole like entirely fucked up body. And part of his gesture encompasses the fact that he can like barely raise his arms. I think it's kind of like a.
I'd like to snap my fingers in motion to Tamara. He needs to be healed.
Tamara.
Heal
I'm
him,
sorry.
Tamara. Heal
Hear
him.
that?
I don't know.
You
Tamara
need
comes
to heal
back
my
in
father.
and
He's
says,
going to help us.
This is my big enemy. This is the person who led to the end of my family. I can't do it.
Wait, he
did
killed your
he
family?
Yeah. I want to be clear. Velhyrus did not.
Did he
kill
indirectly
anyone
kill his family?
in the town. He did, like, if somebody was going in that direction that they were like making an enemy of themselves, they would like maybe injure them and like lock them up and keep them in captivity, but they did not. I think it would be significant if they had killed anyone, because their whole point was that they were keeping up a ruse that they were just there as performers.
Yes.
All the adults knew what was up, but all of the children and any like passing civilians would think that they were just performers. So if they had killed somebody, it would have changed things. So
I
did not
understood
kill
you
anyone.
to say that he led the army of orcs or whoever that.
They're an army of elves. They're just an army of elves. They're also elven like minstrel circus people.
Yeah, we do flips.
Like the Flying Graysons, but
Meet
All
the
right.
Manson family.
So
Sure.
I
Flying Graysons
misunderstood,
meet
I
the
guess. So this is not a mortal enemy of hers.
No. This is just.
I mean, you probably really don't like him.
he's
Oh
probably
yeah, no.
a jerk
He
to you.
has been like. He's basically been like antagonizing your hometown for several weeks, but not actually doing anything terrible, but still like
Right, so I don't
he's
like
still
the guy.
antagonistic towards you. Yes.
Maybe hate the guy, but
Yes.
all right.
He's not a mortal enemy.
I would heal him. Try and heal him.
Sure. We don't need to work out numbers.
Well, I think it's like healing touch, and
Yeah, it's like 3d10 or something. I'm not gonna do numbers for him right now.
okay.
He is healed enough that he can stand up, and I think he's going to. I think he's more concerned with Ronan. He has different opinions on Lunara, but right now his opinions on Lunara are kind of irrelevant. Ronan is the one that, in this context, his relationship with Ronan matters.
Oh, it absolutely.
In this
Mhm.
context, he kind of like he's like Lunara is being insubordinate, but he expects Lunara to be insubordinate.
Yeah.
Ronan is being insubordinate and giving him orders, and that is not what he expects from Ronan. And so I think he's going to look you up and down, and he's going to stand up and brush himself off, and he's going to say, "Looks like you finally grew a spine. All right."
Now is he still manacled because
No. Ronan.
Yeah, I got him down.
so he can use his magic?
He's gonna kind of like stretch his neck out and stretch everything else, and he's going to shrug and say, "I can do some magic. I don't have any of my weapons.
I'll flourish
If
my
you want-
dagger and just hand it to him.
You're giving him your weapon?
I'm giving him my poison weapon.
I've got mine at the ready.
Okay.
In
He-
case.
Y'all are
Out
cool.
of
He's-
character for a second. Does this dude know where Vanitas is? Does he have information about Vanitas?
We
Y'all
knew
know
where
where
Vanitas
Vanitas
was.
is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're,
Okay.
yeah, we figured that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like y'all ended up finding
Because
who
Vanitas
I am
was
now
with
with
Ronan.
Vanitas,
Yes.
and we had hung out, and then it's like, hey, I'm gonna go
Okay.
chill with y'all for a minute.
Canonically,
Okay.
the reason
Guess I forgot that.
Vanitas is not
Forgot
here
that
right
too.
now is because he's going through deep pirate hat withdrawal.
Ah.
He's rolling around in a bunk going,
As I hold out
Mages.
my dagger, I want to make it very clear that the rest of them are not here for you. They will kill you.
I might
They
kill
will
you.
try. You're here to help us get our honor back, Father. Will you do that?
So he's doing like a
That's
two-faced
fucking
deal.
great.
Half of his
Alright.
face is smiling. The
He's
other half
going
is grimacing.
to
Just the old Harvey
he's
Dent.
gonna chuckle and he's gonna say, "Okay, let's see what this is." And he's gonna take the dagger. He's gonna look around and say, and I honestly don't know what the answer to this would be. Does anyone have anything I could wear for any level of protection? No.
Salbeck has giant clothes.
That's
Giant
just like
bulbous
when you
clothes.
take a baby and you put him in like an extra large t-shirt.
I mean, we can cinch it up behind you or something, like, you know,
Like there's.
tie it off a little bit.
Okay, here's
What were the other dudes wearing? Oh, they were just wearing like boxers and bandanas, right?
So
I have
Okay.
a cloak. I'll just take off my cloak and
no.
give it to him.
I think that I did just think of this, and I was being serious before. But retconning, I think he was kind of just trying to get out of helping you guys earlier. He's going to sigh. He takes the knife from you. He spins it around, and then he hands it back to you and gestures for the keys.
I give him the keys.
Alright, he walks over to these chests at the end of the room. Each of the chests is a giant-sized chest,
So
so
it's
it's
just-
like up to here. And so he's going.
Just jumps into the chest.
There's some rummaging for. This is the equivalent of somebody like hauling themselves into a dumpster, basically motion.
I'm totally imagining it like Toy Story point of view when
Oh,
they're
yeah,
all chests
absolutely.
together. Yes.
There's a few moments, and then he crawls out in a kind of bloodied and like messed up version of the clothes you're used to seeing him wear.
Okay.
And did we ever establish what his weapons were?
I don't.
I think
Because when he did
there was
he can do the face
poisonous
set.
dagger,
He has a
but I
poison
kind of
dagger.
thought that was his assistant that had the poisonous dagger.
Yeah, I think it was his assistant because we got into a shank battle back and forth. He just used like lightning magic.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And his teleportation.
Okay. Canonically, this is very important to me. He does have a
kunai.
he has a katana, and he has it's just like the most like generic black katana that you would buy at like Renfest, and he has it on he has it attached to like a rope that is like going over his shoulder, and Sabek knows this for a fact. I'm pretty sure anybody who has spent time as an adventurer knows this. A sheath on your back is worthless, because in order for a sheath to work, you need the blade to extend all the way out of the sheath. And arms don't go that high up.
The sheath.
This is like a worthless sheath. This is a decorative item that he's wearing on his
They
back.
actually went a lot into this with Henry Cavill's portrayal of Geralt in the Witcher series. And you actually have to have a you have to have like a bell shape almost at the end of the sheath so that it has areas to like go back and forth as you're pulling.
The way it's traditionally done, that's one way to do it. The other way that it was often done is you have a sheath that is a flat board on one side with a cup at the bottom, and then the entire this half of it is free.
Okay.
There's no material
it's like
there, so
it's like
just
the guts
tip
one,
that is
the
holding it in
early
place.
one where you
Yeah.
As
just
soon as
like
you start to pull it out,
shake
you
it
can then
out.
just flip it
yeah.
past the cap.
That's
There's,
nuts.
there's reasons you can do that.
But he's
His
just doing
does
this
not
for
have that
jokes.
because you guys know he has never drawn this sword.
Oh, so
in
that's
the
more
flesh.
like when people see this, they're supposed to be scared enough that they don't mess. I'm just gonna throw lightning at him.
Yes.
And I'm like, I want to ask, like, do you really need to bring that?
he's gonna stare at you and just be like, obviously.
Okay, and I'm just gonna be cool with his replica Hanzo steel. Because
Yes,
that's my
yes,
dad.
that is exactly what it is. Oh, and he does at this point he's like, all right, we're getting serious.
Sabek leans over the
He's
gimbal.
going to put on his Naruto headband.
Oh my God.
Sabek leans over the gimbal, the other great sword user in his party, and is just like, this guy fucking serious.
Y'all must be so mad.
What the hell is this? Okay, cool. So there's only 2 sword fighters in this party.
We do have rations like in our bags, right, and stuff like that. I want.
Yeah.
If I could pull out a bottle of water and just place it in front of him, I just want to do that and see what happens. Just because I'm immediately okay, you know what I'm thinking of. Just all those people on the internet where it's just like
He's going to make a wisdom save to try to resist his base instinct.
Jeez.
He rolled a nat 20 on his wisdom save.
Wow.
What happens is the bottle goes down in front of him, and he just goes. And then he walks out of the room, and I think he like kicks the bottle over as he walks past.
Okay.
He's very petulant right
That must have been the hardest thing for him to not just do.
I'm just like and I just like put the water back in my bag, like, alright guys, go ahead.
Are we gonna address the other people who had been kidnapped as well?
What just happened.
The other people, there's nobody else in this room.
Mm-hmm.
How do I want to do that? I think if you ask him, he will tell you that he came in here alone to answer for their failure.
Okay.
The rest of the clan is not here, and for logistical reasons, he told Dexios?
Dexios.
He told Dexios to take the clan somewhere that he would not know. So it could not be tortured out of him.
Okay.
Say what you will about the dude, Vilhyrus is loyal to his clan.
Most of them.
It's a vanity. He is not loyal to the clan members. He is loyal to, and
The
it's not
institution.
even loyalty. It's more of like the clan is like a prized possession that he is jealously guarding.
Yes.
It's
Not-
the loyalty to his country versus the loyalty to his mission.
Yeah.
And it's like I need to find the like happy
And even
place in
then,
between
it's not as much like the loyalty to his country as like
It's his ninja
it's
way.
his Lexus that he doesn't want taken away from him.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of a dick. If I am not clear,
I've
Vilhyrus is a dick.
spent a lot of time with him, and I'm just gonna like motion to you that like you are very lucky to have gotten away, and I'm just gonna walk out too. Oh, real quick, because we're rogues. Is there anything else in that chest that's important?
Absolutely.
Tamara wanted to look through the chest also.
We should-
I've been thinking the same thing.
He just popped over the chest and pulled out his dumb toy
I'm
sword.
curious.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I have made a grievous error here. It is in fact 2 katanas on his back. They are both equally useless.
Oh my god.
Because it had to be.
Which headband does he have?
Cobra Kai.
I think he has the Mist Village.
Yes.
He seems like this village.
I think that was the one I immediately
That's the
thought
one.
of too. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's Mist
yeah.
Village, 100%.
Y'all know what's up.
Is there anything else in that chest before we move on?
Three.
Oh.
There's nothing good in the chest.
Okay.
I think you find.
But there's a second chest. Can we explore that as well?
Nope,
I
that
thought-
roll
I
of
thought
3
there were
covered
2.
that.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing worthwhile in the chest. I think there is. The chest has some extra like manacles and stuff.
Mhm.
So the left chest had prisoner possessions that they were holding on to, but everything in there was either broken or like counterfeit. The right chest had logistical things that a slave overseer might keep. I
Okay.
think there's some like bloody torture tools. Actually, the wall opposite of where they were keeping Belhyros has bloody torture tools. The chest just has like extra manacles and I don't know, maybe some like office supplies.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna
What time is it?
roll out.
7:37.
7:37. Y'all are leaving in 23 minutes, ish.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then let's aim to get to a good stopping point.
Is this a safe place where we could kind of guard the door or do something so that we could rest here?
You would be locked in this room if that's what you want to. Explain to me how you go about taking an 8-hour rest without the risk of things going wrong.
I also think a torture room is the last place I'd want to take an 8-hour rest.
Yeah.
It might be the only
Logistically
place.
wise.
We don't know how long Valhyros has been here. Presumably, he's already walked out and isn't going to come back into this room willingly. I feel like I really pushed my boundaries.
Yeah.
Like,
You
I
guys-
took a deep breath.
Well,
that was
I
hard.
think-
Yeah.
I discussed with everyone else or argued that, I think if we're going to come up across some bigger creature, some bigger kind of fight, that we want to be in a better shape. So
Yes.
I'm like at half my abilities.
I'm at 0 rages left. 4 key points.
Okay. If you guys want to take a full night's rest, come up with what your game plan there is. I'm certainly not stopping you. I will say, as a
take turns guarding, and there may be some random encounters. But
you are.
There's still like 4 guys who are knocked out in the main room but not dead.
But they're just like slave workers.
Oh, not just. Excuse
Well,
me.
I mean, they
No.
can't.
You literally cut one
One
in
guy
half.
is-
No, my point is that they will wake up.
Right.
Yeah.
They will wake
But
up
when
at
they
some
do,
point.
they won't attack us, will they?
Who?
Like,
Who knows?
Even if they don't
So-
attack, they might
Right.
tell somebody who will attack. them.
Also,
Right.
you guys are essentially standing in the middle of a military base, and
Yeah.
like tell me a plan where you spend 8 hours in a military base that is on lockdown because there are dead guards and don't get caught. You guys could come up with something. One point that I'm going to suggest, just as a person who has played a fair amount of D&D, if this is the direction you want to go, there's no reason you couldn't just go back upstairs, get in your airship, and like fly in the sky for 8 hours or something like that,
right, and then come back.
and then come back.
I don't know if
I mean,
we
it's
have to
possible.
go
We
to
come back.
that extreme.
If we come back in here, then they may be on even higher alert, though.
That
The
this
whole
is the
reason that
decision
we
you need to
decided
make.
not to do a full night's rest was to keep up momentum.
Right.
So, I mean,
But are we going to be as powerful?
let's think about what we have encountered. We have, at least 3 more giants plus Lord whatever with the conch.
Plus
on
the
his
Metal
neck.
Gear.
Plus the Metal Gear, which is field operational, but is probably going to not
Yeah,
be
because we did the one side
as
quest.
big
It's
a
not going to
threat
have the
as we
rail
think
gun.
It is.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be as much of a threat as we think it is.
It's still a Metal Gear
Oh
though,
no,
dog.
I'm pretty scared of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want our. So
I mean, if I turn into a dragon and I get slag, I'll just spray slag on it, and how will
That's
it
true.
move? Like, it will have molten and hardening iron on it.
Yeah.
man, but like, are we gonna have our party as like at half effectiveness?
Right.
Like, it doesn't work if Gimbal can't support you because we don't have another tank.
I'm not
Like,
ready.
we're cool, and my dad is at best half
A
of a
ninja.
magician.
That's not how
Yeah.
this sentence was supposed to end.
He thinks he's a ninja, and his pride has been hurt. So he's basically willing to do the like Zuko and get us all into trouble. So like, if this is gonna happen, I don't know. Like thematically, if like you can work it out that he would be cool enough hanging with us while we waited, that's fine. But like, I'm not gonna argue against whatever it is you decide to do.
I think you've made a good case that he will stick with you guys to regain the village honor,
Yeah.
the clan honor.
I say we can't leave though. If we leave, we're basically doing the Metal Gear thing of like, oh, now we have to break back into the base, but now
Right.
it's on like
Now
jungle.
all
Yeah.
over again.
Now
It's
they
a
have more
higher
guards.
security level.
Okay. Another consideration: the room you're in is somewhere very obvious. Another thing you guys could do. You're inside of a mountain.
That's right.
You are down here. There's 3/4 of a mountain between here and there that is all mine shafts.
We
Go
can take a
find
chance
a
down mine shaft.
fucking quiet place in a mine shaft and hope
Hide
rule of
them.
obscurity
Right.
they don't find you. They would still probably address the fact that there's a dead overseer and raise security or something, but at least you wouldn't have to come back in through the
Yeah, I say we can
Yeah,
go
I mean,
out.
we could John McClane it.
I
And
could-
just find a vent.
I could set up some
And
traps.
creep them.
And we have the key. We
Like
can go
Die
right
Hard.
to the basement now.
Yeah,
We don't have to
that's
even go to
fair.
this door again.
That's a good point.
Okay.
That's a good point.
You could just go up and right down to the bottom.
Okay.
Because we have the key.
Yeah.
I would like
I'm-
to do that.
I'm cool for that.
I'd be more comfortable if we were all like tip top,
Yep.
you know, topped off and ready to go into a
I'm into
city
that.
battle.
To Duke Salto.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
How do we talk Sebek into that? Sebek and Az are cool with that?
Azra's more cool with it than Sabek is, but Sabek isn't going to like go it alone.
Because like sometimes
Yeah.
you're cool with
Yeah.
like storming off, and I'm like, you're very important to what has to
Yes.
happen next.
We need 2 tanks. We
We-
need 2.
Well, I mean, I told Morgan something on Friday, but I'm not going to tell y'all. So.
Oh, okay.
What?
Just
All
have
right.
secrets
Yeah.
from the
Alright.
group.
Something
I
about
mean,
what's my plan with Sabek.
Now I'm an
Oh,
Oh,
accomplice.
you told me.
I'm an accomplice now.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm in
Alright.
the
So
50 side now.
50% of the people in this room know what's up. Alright. Fine.
Yeah, you
it's
know,
okay.
you're not
It's
cool
okay. I
about
love
this.
that.
That's
That
actually
makes
so
me
cool.
situation.
I also love the idea. I don't know if this is something that Sabek would canonically have told the other people with, but I love the idea that every person who is not in it are the people that are new to the group, who he wouldn't have shared secrets with,
That makes
and
sense.
the DM who is not in the group.
So it's Sebek and Gimbal. Looking for life.
I like this. I don't want to know anymore. You guys go sleep in the mines.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
What's that, John McClane?
What can we do to like set an alarm?
Don't you
set
have
a
the
trap,
alarm spell?
I
or-
do. I
You
can
have
do
the
it.
alarm spell.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do not
Fuck
have
yes.
that spell.
All right. And you are a rogue. You know how
Yeah,
to set traps.
I can
I mean,
set
you're
traps.
a ranger too. Like you guys know. I think that's actually where the alarm spell comes from.
Yeah, I
It's
think mine's just
partially
a tripwire
magic.
or something.
It is like the equivalent of like a tripwire that is enhanced by magic. You
Okay.
use practical tools in addition to magical fields to get a it's very practical effect.
Mhm.
You know what it reminds me of? Have you seen Fate Zero?
No.
All right, good call.
Sorry.
There's a dude. The Fate series is all about magicians fighting each other. There's a dude in Fate Zero, arguably the main character, who is an ex-magician assassin. So while every other magician is fighting using like spells and arcane tricks and stuff, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna like cast a spell to lower your magic barrier, and I'm gonna shoot you in the head with a sniper rifle, bitch.
That's
Like,
amazing.
He's fucking he's very satisfying to watch in the show because it's like every like bullshit modern fantasy thing that you've watched where you're like, just use a gun, Harry Potter, just shoot him with a gun. He's the one guy that's like, yeah, I have a gun. I bought it for $20.
Bullets go fast.
Yeah. And they do a very good job of combining that with the, like, there's a reason magicians don't usually shoot guns at each other. They know how to block that, but he's also a magician who knows how to block those it's very good. Anyway, that's what I imagine your magic is like. It's like, it is magic, but also you're practical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are using practical things
magic
to augment your
Sorry,
magic.
sounded good.
Okay. The way that I want to... Alright, do you guys think we should end this on you guys camping, or do you think we should cliffhanger it and end it on the beginning of the next day?
I think since we have a little time, can we just see if we make it through the night? We make it through the 8 hours, or
Okay.
are we interrupted?
Alright, so, for pacing reasons, I'm not going to roll for this. But I think narratively it is a tense night. There is stuff that's happening in the halls. You hear like slaves and stuff go by. I think there's a point where you've used a couple spells, so you do need a rest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need a full rest for any reason?
I don't think Lunara does. I can
Okay.
stay on watch.
I like the idea that Lunara stays on watch, and I think that there's
Also because she's probably watching over Nugget. 'Cause he
Lunara
got
is-
almost smashed.
Lunar is staying on watch and still not telling you all what I'm doing with Sabek, but Sabek is doing something that you all haven't seen him doing before. Namely, he's on his knees and praying in the corner.
Hey, this is fascinating. All right, we'll respect that. So I think that there's some moments where you see like a slave who's like a miner like walks past the tunnel that you're in, and you have to use some like practical effects and light magic. I mean, you have shadow magic,
Mhm.
and to like get him to not pay attention to this tunnel. Like, it's a very tense night.
She probably had a pile of rocks next to her too that she just keeps whipping around the corners to
Yeah.
distract them.
Stuff like that. But you guys do. You make it through the night. Nobody finds you. I think you do hear, at one point, you hear, people like shouting and making commotion like they're looking for people, but they never quite find you.
Okay.
It actually isn't quite 8 hours later. I don't know how you guys are keeping track of time, but you do not feel like you've had a fully satisfying rest. So everybody who's looking for a full rest, you will get 3/4 of the effect of that. So if you're hoping to get spells back, you choose like one of your spells that you don't get back. If you are hoping to get key points back, to take 3/4 of your key points are recovered. Everyone else, if it's HP or whatever,
Rage.
3/4.
I get 1 out of 2.
You can have 2 out of 2.
Okay.
That's fine. So
Alright, how about the changing, the druid can change into animals?
I think you get that back on a short rest actually. So you'll get that back anyway.
Okay.
If I
Because
had
it
4
has
key,
been more than.
if I had 4 key, do I get 6? Or do I get 5?
How many is your total?
I only get 6.
And
I only
you
took 2.
just top yourself off.
Okay.
Because you would have recovered up to 6 key during that time,
Right.
so you theoretically recovered 4,
Okay.
and then however much you needed.
And then 12 health hit points.
Yes.
Okay.
You recovered 3/4 of your maximum hit points.
Okay.
It is 6 hours after you guys got cozy in this hall that you hear. I think that you are the person who's been like on watch this whole time, and you've heard the noises of like people doing searches and stuff like that. The noise that you hear now is different than the other noises you've heard. You hear something that is kind of like the sound of an alarm going off that seems to be going off through the whole thing. I'm gonna say that you guys are like 2 floors up from where this is. Does that sound fair? Like enough that you can get back quickly, but also enough away that stuff like that. You are close enough that you hear a huge cacophonous grinding sound that seems to echo throughout the entire facility, and then you start to hear some booming sounds.
Oh Lord.
And I think that's where we're gonna end the game.
Oh my god.
Well,
We needed another in-person game for this.
I think this was going to happen anyway, even if we just ran straight down there,
It's true.
you know. So.
The
So-
circumstances of it would
Now
have
you're
been.
fully
Since
charged.
you're the DM, I need to tell you what I'm going. So.
Alright. Let me know. I'm excited. Alright.
It was a good game.
That was a good game. I am so worried about the giant mech. I'm so worried about the
I don't
giant
know how
mech.
we're gonna stop them.
I don't know how we're gonna stop him either.
We're going to go find a giant on-off switch and pull it off!
Yeah. We'll get to the driver somehow.